Hi, welcome to ESLG 496, Teaching English Across the Disciplines. For those of you who are still just a little bit confused about the numbering, in every year after this, the course will be called 471, but for this year only, it's called 496. So again, the course is called Teaching English Across the Disciplines, and our entire focus in this course is to help you prepare to teach specific content to English language learners in the way that's the most effective for them. In the rest of this program, the rest of the ESLG program, what you're going to mostly get from me, from the courses, from your readings, is in general, what can we do to support English language learners? So in general, how can we support their language development? How can we scaffold language for them in ways that will support them? How can we think critically about the cultural experiences they bring with them and help make connections with the curriculum, and also build some on-ramps for them so they can make meaningful connections immediately with the curriculum. But the problem is that when an English language learner moves through their day in K through 12, whether that's kindergarten or 3rd grade, 5th grade, 10th grade, whatever it is, they're moving, whether from room to room or not, they're moving from discipline to discipline. They're moving from math to science to social studies to language arts. And here's the thing. The challenges for English language learners in each of those 4 areas are drastically different. They are each challenging in their own way, but the challenges are quite different in terms of the kind of language that students are provided that they need to comprehend, to understand, the kind of language they need to tackle if they're going to carry out tasks, as well as the different challenges that potential mismatches with culture they can face in each discipline. So in the rest of the program, you will get, in general, ways that you can approach your instruction in K through 12 with English language learners. In this course only, we are going to focus on specific disciplines so that you get a sense of kind of the texture of the discipline in terms of language and culture. And perhaps even more importantly, what you will walk away with are specific strategies, best practice pedagogy that you can apply when teaching a discipline. Now, we can't tackle everything in one course. It's a 3-credit course. We can't tackle everything. But what we can do is we can give you the experience of tackling 2 disciplines and getting a sense of language, culture, and pedagogy for 2 of these disciplines. Now, some of you are headed to teach elementary, and throughout your day, you'll be tackling all 4 of these. Others of you are headed off to teach high school, perhaps high school history, and so social studies will be your focus. For this course, what we're going to do is you're going to choose a pathway through the course. You will either choose social studies and language arts, or you will choose science and mathematics, and those 2 will be your focus. Well, you might say, wait a minute, I'm teaching 5th grade. I need all 4 of these. It's more than a 3-credit course can tackle. But what you will get is you will get the types of ways that we are going to explore, examine, analyze, and come to conclusions about the challenges of a discipline. You'll do it twice, actually, with 2 different disciplines, and you'll be able to apply that to the other pieces that you're putting in front of your students. So we can't do too much, but we can do enough so that you are set up as a lifelong learner in the disciplines that you're teaching. So what's our course going to look like? How are we going to tackle this together? I've broken it into 4 pieces, 4 units, and you'll be able to see them clearly in our Canvas modules. In Unit 1, we will all be together, regardless of the pathway that you're going to choose. We will all be together. We will do some intro work together. We will all let each other know what our focus is, which pathway we've chosen, whether it's social studies and language arts or science and mathematics. And we will also do an assessment of ourselves in terms of our own awareness of English grammar. Why does this matter? Because if you are not fully capable of taking a look at a text or listening to a series of presentations and being able to identify what is the grammar that's being used, and thus what's the grammar I need to teach to my students so that they can understand this piece, then you really won't be successful in teaching your English language learners across the disciplines. So, in Unit 1, one of the key pieces that you'll do is you'll give yourself a pre-assessment grammar quiz this week, actually, in the very first week of the course. And then you'll think about that. You'll reflect on what your results are, and you will write a pre-reflection in terms of where are you in your grammar understanding and where do you need to go next. My assumption is, over this course, because we'll be talking about grammar, we'll be analyzing it, it'll be a part of readings, it'll be a part of lectures, it'll be a part of tasks, you are going to grow in your own grammar development. But the onus is not just on me to lead you through the activities, the onus is on you, really, because you are just 5 minutes from being a teacher if you aren't already. And so if you, in the pre-quiz, you notice that you really struggle with certain aspects of grammar, the onus is on you in this quarter to seek those pieces of information out, look for those examples. To help you with this, I found 4 excellent, really readable resources on grammar that are searchable by terms, and those are in our Getting Started module. So, and if those don't work for you, or you just need some time just sitting and talking with me about it, I would welcome you to come to my office hours any week this quarter. So that's a big piece of what we accomplish right away in week 1 in Unit 1. The rest of Unit 1, we are going to build a foundation together, an understanding of how language changes from discipline to discipline. Also, an understanding of how the cultural challenges change from discipline to discipline, as well as what are some general pedagogies that do tend to work in the content areas that kind of spread across all of them. So we will tackle that. And I will also share with you how I think that developing pedagogical content knowledge is a little different for those of us teaching English language learners. So I'll share that with you. I'm not sure if it's a unique, novel idea or not, but I haven't come across anyone who said exactly the same thing. So all of that happens in Unit 1. Units 2 and Units 3 are very similar. Once you determine the path that you're going to take, whether it's language arts and social studies or science and mathematics, you will actually choose, you will buy the texts that you will use. Here I'm holding the 4 texts for the course. Obviously you only need 2. So if you're going to do the language arts and social studies pathway, you'll need these 2. And if you're heading off into mathematics mathematics and science, there we go. These are the 2 texts that you'll need, okay? So once you've made that choice, and you'll actually declare that in Unit 1, in Unit 2, if you chose the social studies and language arts pathway, you will first tackle the discipline of social studies. For those doing mathematics and science, you'll tackle mathematics. And then in Unit 3, you'll move on to the other of the disciplines. So in Unit 3, it's science and language arts. And Units 2 and Units 3 are broken into 3 weeks. We will look at language, we'll look at culture, and we'll look at pedagogy. And with each of those 3 weeks in Units 2 and 3, there will be textbook readings, there'll be readings online, there'll be videos, you'll have lectures by me, and we will always end the week with a discussion. And so you'll be joining your classmate colleagues in talking about what you now notice about a text taken from the disciplines. So for example, in Unit 2, I will be giving you a pre-reflection that you will carry out at the very beginning of the unit. I will provide you with a social studies text from a chapter, and I want you, without peeking ahead at the unit, without thinking about it too much, I want you to see, what do you notice about language and culture challenges that English language learners might encounter. And the same goes in Unit 2 with mathematics. You have a chapter from a textbook in mathematics, and again, you just take a look, your pre-reflection, what do I notice out the gate? At the end of Unit 2, and it'll also happen at the end of Unit 3, again, for your post-reflection, you take a look at what you noticed, you go back to that original text, social studies or mathematics, and you tell me, and you tell your colleagues in our class discussion, what do you now notice? What do you see that you didn't see before? It's really key for us as we move so quickly through these disciplines that we note our learning, we notice our development, and of course I'm modeling this for you so that you can do it for your students too. It's especially important for adult students like you, but you need to do it for your K through 12 students too. Make sure they have real opportunities to notice where they've learned, to notice the way that their vision has changed. What are we up to in Unit 4? Unit 4, unlike the other units, very brief. It's a whirlwind one last week, and if you peek ahead and look at the bottom of our syllabus where all the due dates are, or you look at our class timeline, what you will see is that that is a packed week. So I would suggest that you're actually working ahead for that week, because in week 4, you will be taking a very similar quiz about grammar that you took during Unit 1. And this time you need to post in the discussion about where was development for you and what's next. Where do you need to go next, and making sure that you're really got the grammatical understanding and awareness that your students are going to be counting on you to have, so that you can explain it to them and prepare them for readings. Also in Unit 4, this is where, if it hasn't happened for you yet in the course, this is where theory will become practice. So what you will do in Unit 4 is you will create and you will share with your classmates 2 lesson plans. If you did social studies and language arts pathway, you'll have 1 social studies lesson plan, 1 language arts plan. Same for math and science. Doesn't matter to me which one you turn in first, they have different due dates, but just choosing one and getting that created. And with that lesson plan, very importantly, what you'll be doing is you'll include 2 different ways that you are supporting students with language challenges, 2 different ways that you are responding to potential cultural and experience differences that your students will bring to the class, and 2 different pedagogies that work especially well for that discipline for English language learners. And you'll express that to me so you can show me, you can demonstrate that not only are you capable of creating really effective instructional plans for working with English language learners in that discipline, but that you're aware that you know, which is a real key piece of teaching, being reflective of what we do. So it is going to be a whirlwind, but I know that you are fully capable, and I'm fully capable of guiding you through this as well. One quick note before we end. As you know, you will choose 2 textbooks, and we will use those, but we will not use them until we are in Units 2 and 3. So if for this course, if you're having trouble getting the textbooks, for the first 3 units, you won't need them, but beginning in Unit 2, we will be drawing upon them a lot. Because I never want to give you busy work, because I never want to exhaust you in ways that are not necessary, I am not assigning the entire textbook, any of them. And when we go online, often when I assign you to take a look at someone's PowerPoint, or to watch a video, I won't assign the entire thing. I will give you specific slides to look at, specific pages, specific minutes of the video quite often. And so I would like you to take whatever I assign to you quite seriously. It is not busy work. It's something that I believe is crucial to support your understanding that you've already started to get from the lecture, but we need to move that ball farther down the court with you. And so, so I want you to take the reading seriously and actually do them. And I want you to know that when I give you a reading, I expect you to be a little changed by it. I expect that it will change your ideas in ways that you can then bring back to the discussion. So, so I look forward to the readings that you're doing throughout the course, units 1, 2, and 3 especially. I look forward to them being really meaningful to you, helping to clarify some things that I maybe just talk about in very brief ways in the lecture, to give you lots of examples, and to really change your ideas as a developing teacher. Okay, welcome to the course. I can't wait to get started. See you in Unit 1.